Okay, so hello and welcome everyone. I am so excited to talk to you today, to bring you my good friend, Claire Adio, who is a confidence coach down on the Costa Blanca. So Claire, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm so excited to go through your process that you have for us today about confidence.
Confidence, that's where I found that my niche has been, um, especially with women. I'm not excluding men, but what I found because of my history, um, a single mother, a daughter, a career-minded person, there's a lot of struggles, there's a lot of juggling, there's a lot of and as women, we innately keep giving, keep giving. But we have these inner voices in our head saying,
Oh yeah,
saying
women tend to have
such
that.
negative things. And especially if we have to actually, if we make compromises, the compromises always, or 98% of the time, are our compromises. We don't say, oh, well, hubby has to go without, or mother has to wait, or the kids have to go another day. We look constantly looking to, making everybody else happy at our own expense. And then we get to a point, you put all these hats on that you get so confused. As a woman, you kind of wake up one day and go, who am I? Who am I and what do I want? And I think this is what I have found in the last year is people have come to me for all sorts of different problems, whether it be weight, whether it be they're not able to move their business forward, or and actually the bottom line is their personal confidence. They've actually been blocking themselves. They're not allowing themselves to be themselves. And there's a really good section. I don't know if you've ever watched the Shift. Wayne Dyer's movie.
The Wayne Dyer. Oh yes, I have seen
that.
that.
Yes. Absolutely. I would recommend everybody go and watch that because he explains. There's so much in there that you can actually take from it and learn. But there's one kind of they're following different people through, but there's a family, there's a woman there with two young boys, and she was an artist before she became a mother, and she's gone to this hotel and they're having a family holiday, and she's being pulled in every single direction. She's trying to make sure the kids are all right, she's trying to make sure the husband's all right, but she actually starts to breathe and she actually starts to look around her, and the place is beautiful, and she starts to feel that she needs to start drawing again. But she doesn't give herself permission to say to her husband, I'm going to draw again. And she, there's a little caption where the boys ask her what she's doing, and she's been looking at the trees, and she says, it's so beautiful, it'd be lovely to, I'm just remembering, how beautiful, how fantastic it would be to draw this. And her two young boys go, but Mummy, you don't draw.
Yeah, you're just mummy. Yeah,
you're just mummy.
Yeah,
and it goes through. But I think the most poignant part in that is, even though she's got a loving, caring husband, she still doesn't have the confidence to say to him of an evening when the boys are in bed, I'm going to go and do some drawing. She says, I'm going to go and have a shower, and she locks herself in the bathroom. And she sits on the floor and she draws what she remembered from what she saw that day.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a really, really powerful, poignant scene because, okay, you may not be drawn, but there are. I defy any woman that has actually said, actually, time out, I'm going. There's such a small percentage that have got that amount of confidence to say that. Time out, this is time for me. The only time we tend to do that is when we're really, 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 hit our limits and lost our temper. Well, that's not a good way to live.
No, definitely not the good solution for that problem.
Exactly. And with that losing your temper, you inevitably say things you don't really mean, and then you have all the attached guilt, which just exacerbates the whole situation.
Yeah.
So that's what I found is, I've come into it, and that's what I've been working with my clients with.
So have you had a client like or similar to this client from the film, or is there another client that's Someone that you can remember?
Yeah, I've got one client that really sticks in my mind. And I'll always be grateful to her because she actually taught me. She is the most kindest, loving person I've ever met. But she didn't have any self-worth. And she never gave herself permission for anything. And she never used to speak up. So she was like this little quiet mouse. But on the inside, she had this amazing mind and this amazing inner power. And that's, you know, and we worked together. And in the time that we actually worked together, she started her own business. She has sorted out problems within her relationship, not major problems, but things that she felt she was lacking in, support that she felt. But she wasn't getting it because she wasn't asking for it. It wasn't because her husband was a monster or her children were, you know, selfish. It was because she wasn't valuing herself. And that's one of the very key points that I always get, you know, through the process that I teach. One of the first things that I actually teach is you've got to learn to value yourself, because if you don't value yourself, why would others?
Yeah, I can relate to that. I hear myself in that description too. It's just all this power on the inside, but on the outside, you're afraid to ask, and then you get frustrated because you're like, why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? When you don't, sometimes you're not even aware. You don't stop and go, oh, well, but they don't know. They can't read my mind. And a lot of times as women too, we're thinking, well, they should know. They should read my mind. They should know I need tenderness and love. But we're too afraid to like go and get it.
Well, how many times have you said, and this is the other thing, is learning to say no.
Yeah.
Learning to say
no. It feels painful sometimes. It's like, no!
The first time you do it, I think the nerves are so kind of like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen?
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're so programmed to just go, oh, okay, yes.
Yeah, we don't want to say no. We don't want to be the nasty.
But it's amazing because the first time you actually say no, okay, you have all this scary feeling and all these nerves bubbling up and your stomach's churning over and you get the tension in the back of your neck and you go, oh, you do it. And if you do it in a loving way, if you go, actually, no, I can't, I have enough on, people are just like, okay. And you do just, why do we put ourselves through that? Because the reaction that you get is a simple, okay, you know, it's not this, what are they going to think? What are they going to say? I'm not good enough. I'm not, you know, I'm just a lightweight because I can't take all this on. You know, it's like that job, you know, when you're in that job and you just take on more work and more work and more work and you know, it just keeps piling up on your desk again. And you know that those promotions are coming up. So you're in absolute fear of going, no.
Yeah.
And you compromise yourself all the time, because actually what you're actually doing is you are making yourself so exhausted that you're not functioning properly anyway. So the likelihood of you getting that promotion is slim.
Yeah. Yeah, so this can be a real help for those of us who are identifying and seeing ourselves in this paradigm that you're describing. We're caught in this people pleaser mode, and doing this work with you, we use the EFT, we use your processes and your methodologies. And how do we go through that? How do we feel after we've been through that? Or how did your client feel when you took her through that?
My client now has, I mean, she's still a very quiet, very sensitive person. Her personality hasn't changed. And I think that's the first key point. You won't change from this, you know, being a really nice person to being a selfish BI. That's not going to happen. That's not what this process is about. This process is about empowerment. It's about stepping into your own power and actually fulfilling your own needs. You're still going to be a mother, you're still going to be a wife, you're still going to be a daughter, you're still going to do all those things, but you're actually going to do them in a way that you feel fulfilled, calm, and empowered.
You'll actually be better at them, won't you, this way? You'll be better.
Will. Yeah, you will. Because what you're actually doing is you're just taking out all those pressures. You know, you're freeing your ability to actually speak and feel with clarity. You know, if you don't have the time, you don't have the time. The other thing is time. It's fantastic. I love time. We lose as women so much time because we'll go, yes, we'll do it. Yes, we'll do it. Yes, we'll do it. We take it all on board rather than saying no. And then we spend 2 or 3 hours of the day thinking, you know, how am I going to organize this? What are they going to think about me? Have I done that properly? Is little Johnny, he needs to get to the party, but I'm not going to get him there on time. You know, you lose time. So with this process, you actually gain time. You do more and you gain time.
Okay, well, that sounds great. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us? How can we get a hold of you?
You can get a hold of me on www.eftcostablanca.com. Whatever it is you want, whatever your goal is, whether you're wanting a better personal life or whether you're wanting a professional life, it will work the whole lot. I mean, I've done confidence coaching with business coaches, step up their business, get them up to that next level. People that just want to be happy and want to be able to actually be seen. It's just, the spectrum is enormous, absolutely enormous. But yeah, go onto the website, go onto the confidence coaching page and click the button. Get also a link to a video for the tapping points. If you can't remember those, you haven't got to worry about that. There's a video up on YouTube for the tapping points. Try it out, experience it, and then come back to me.
Okay, well, that sounds great. Again, we're speaking with Claire Atio, Atyo, and she's a confidence coach, but you can go to the website, as you said, EFT Costa Blanca, and get more information. Well, thank you again, Claire.
My pleasure. Thank you.
All right, thanks. We'll talk later.
Bye-bye.